Good morning, Vietnam. We have now the tools, scientific proofs that those giant stones, those old structures, they are made out of concrete or cement or geopolymer. This scientist, the top in the field of this knowledge, Joseph Davidovich, offers us all the proofs, the knowledge that the stones are molded. You take some of this mixture, this concrete, and you put it in a formwork, and then you have big giant stones. So it's doable. There is nothing magic anymore. So this is the first element, the first key we have, totally scientific, totally mainstream, and we know now how to make a giant stone, okay, with concrete. And the second point that we have, it is clear in our reality, in our environment, that some stones are made like they are in the way of being moved, while they just have been made there. There was a formwork and they poured the stuff, but the effect was to make it like it was carved from the mountain and being moved. But it is not true. It was just made there with concrete formwork, and you pour with buckets inside bit by bit, and then it hardens. So second point we have, second element, that the people that made this were trying to deceive, like showing like those stones were being moved, where no one ever moved this kind of stones. So this is an artwork. This is a Disney World show, made for deceiving. So we can see it on the picture is the Baalbek stone. It is a Baalbek temple, Baal for this entity, gloomy entity. So they made a giant structure there, giant temple, and one of the stones is made like this, like it is in the process of being moved for the show. This never happened, guys. It is just an art project. It's a Disney World. It's a movie stage or something, okay? We have this in Lebanon. We have this in Egypt. This Egypt, between bracket civilization, strange civilization, they have an obelisk which is in the horizontal situation, like in the process of being carved and then moved. And it is all also a circus. They made it like this with concrete to have this idea like it is being carved out of the stone, while it has been made with concrete in the position, horizontal position, and give this impression, this feeling like it has been stopped. The work has been stopped. They didn't finish the carving and they didn't move it. Okay, it's also bullshit. So it is also a stage, Disney World. We have this also in Easter Island, those statues, the Moai, which has been shown to be made out of concrete, not carved. We have statues that are in the process of being made in the horizontal position, like they are being carved, and then they will move them and put them in a different place. Also, it is a stage. It is a bullshit. It is a show. So now we know that those ancient sites are bullshit. Okay, they are for the show. They are construct, and here we have the architecture as a media of propaganda. So we are bullshitting with this false past, which they use also to implement their ideas and their shaping of the humans with these old civilizations. Okay, between bracket civilization. All they didn't exist. Okay, it is bullshit. Okay, we have the Roman Empire also. It's not what we think. The Roman Empire, from my point of view, was the way to implement all the systems of control, Christianity to destroy all these people that were living in nature happily and everything, and put on them this spell of being guilty of something and waiting for a savior in the future and everything. So the Roman Empire is this hand which propagate the systems of control and specifically the Christianity, and it has a layer of bullshit when it comes to this Colosseum, where the the gladiators fought and everything fought there. This is the fiction part of it, the bullshit part of it. Okay. So the past is not what we think. It is mostly bullshit. The past that we are shown in the media, okay, with those giant stones and strange and everything, okay. So behind all those false artifact, false Disney World site, Disney World stage, there is the control of the mind. To put some concepts, there is the concept of slavery. It's always there, slavery of temples, deities over than you, and you build giant temples for them and everything. All of it is bullshit. It is implemented like this. It was created like this to put it into happening, into our belief system, and turn us into those now slaves as we are, because they created a slave past for us. Okay. So there is the slavery. There is some also nonsense, like ridiculous, like mummies, mummies of cats, mummies of humans, and mummies of cats also. Why not mummies of zebra also? Those Egyptian, drawing those gods with the head of a bird, of a wolf. There is something ridiculous, mocking. But I think it is the strategy of the shock. The more it is crazy, the more we believe, like civilization based on woo, like just non-practical stuff, just woo, believe gods, and one lost his dick, and I don't know, the other has to find it, put it. It's just a continuous madness, and it is that big that we are in a shock position, strategy of the shock. So I think the more it is big, the more it is crazy, the more it enters, gladiators fighting in front of the people, like killing each other, Maximus Diplodocus, that Big Batus, beer drinkers. It is so. It is shocking, It is like they were fighting and people watching them, and it has to have this element of craziness, and it is a shock strategy, in my sense, to break something inside, so it enters. The spell enters. Okay. So, thinking logically, what a real civilization would be, like the one they wipe, possibly they go where they are and they build the shit and they wipe real civilization. A real civilization, you will find houses with technology. If there was technology of building, you will find beautiful houses. While, for example, there is a technique of cooling. For example, you put two walls, one to protect the house from the sun, and there will be air in between circulating by a thermic effect. So the more it is hot, the more there is hot air, fresh air cooling the house between cavities and something, and those stuff exist. There is this kind of buildings in some people, even right now in the desert, where they have the thermal managing of the houses. So real knowledge, practical, nice houses. If Egyptians civilization were about superb houses which have a superb view on the Nile, and have a cooling system, it will be practical. We will say it is a real civilization. We will find, for example, a place for the children where to play, a swimming pool with the stuff you slide, water managing. So they have this sliding stuff, so they can slide into the swimming pool or jump places where to jump. We will find practical stuff with people caring about their children, caring about joy, managing, for example, the agriculture with some techniques, forming the environment for very efficient agriculture technique, know how to do in science, in health, very practical, not woo, very practical. We will have find tools of doing, actually, of building. We will find the tools that they use and everything. So we find just woo and bullshit and continuous madness, managing of the water, cleaning the water, for example. It is very strange now that people in some poor countries, they don't even know how to clean their water. When you have dirty water, if you have a source of heat, if you can burn wood or any material, you can clean your water. You vaporize, you heat it, and you just have a tube condensating it, and you have a very pure water, very pure, purer than the one you have on your coming from your faucet, from your water network in your cities, just with some wood, some container, and condensating it now. And we don't have it now in poor countries like like Africa. They do not have the know of this. They drink dirty water, while it takes a little bit of work, just a little bit, to purify your water, and it is very important for the health. It's number one, and they don't do it. This is the level of humanity of now, and then we have those big stones, supposedly, of people building big stuff for no reason. Okay, so this is the architecture of propaganda. It is to cover possibly real civilization, a civilization of real knowledge, how to build their houses, how to be happy, how to be free. They were there in Europe. People still have this pagan, Viking stuff, Celtic stuff, some joy, some connection with the nature, some based on growing on joy of the human, primarily on enjoying your life. And if you have to evolve, you evolve as human. You don't evolve into big stones, to spending crazy energy into this New World stuff. So it is a tool of propaganda, of building false space. And now we have the scientific proofs of Mr. Joseph Davidovich, which I put you the link. I really advise you to listen to this interview. The guy is speaking a little bit of Spanish, but it is in English. Joseph Davidovich is speaking in English. It is interesting because since it is a small channel, he let himself express what he thinks about the system and everything. So he discovered everything. Two ways to do this concrete, one based on basic chemistry, the other one on acidic chemistry, so some extract from the plant to make those concrete, different forms of stones that seems very natural, that no laboratories can differentiate and can tell if it is artificial or natural stone. So it is game over. Okay. So yeah, so this video is for putting a game over about this impossible stones moved by technology we don't have, or by giant or extraterrestrial, or by flutes or something. Or all this bullshit is bullshit. Mostly it is the art of geopolymer, of making a concrete and make different forms of stones. And it is all around in the statues and everywhere. Yeah, so it is. They have used this as a tool to reshape our past, the past of humanity, and most important, reshape our mind, what we are, what we think we are of ourselves. Okay, so put back this power into the human, not into these stones. They are easy to do. It's a matter of some number of people, some buckets and some know-how how to mix the different chemical element, and you can make anything block by block. You put a big block and the next block next to it when it is the one is hard, the next one, and you build anything. So it's game over. See you next time.